back, legends. I hope you're all fantastic. In today's video, we're going to do a little bit of a Superstrat comparison, and this one came about because of two guitars I own, a Hamer Californian with 27 frets and a Shrödder Marksman guitar from Hamburg in Germany, which is a brand new guitar brand which has come out very much in the style of the Californian. And I wanted to do a comparison video between those two because they've both got 27 frets, right? So it would make sense to do a 27 fret guitar video, but then I started doing the clips and they're just totally different animals, different scale lengths, different timbers, different construction styles, that I thought, why not cast the net a little bit wider and drag out a bunch of my Superstrat guitars? So that's what we're gonna do today. We're gonna get straight into it. We're actually gonna start off with my 77 Strat as a reference, because if you wanna hear what makes Superstrat super, you first need to hear just a plain old Strat. So this one kind of is a plain old Strat from 1977, but it kind of isn't because it's been refretted with stainless wire by Tim at MT Guitars here, and it's got a Sir Michael Landau signature pickup set in it. And this, for just a kind of straight down the line Strat, ticks all the boxes for me, and when I pick this guitar up and start playing it, it is really hard to put it down. But we're going to hear Lay It Down by Rat double tracked on this guitar to get us started. Next, I said the Californian was my favorite design from this entire era. Let's hear it. There's a Duncan distortion in the bridge. I'm just gonna do exactly like we did in the last video. I'm gonna play Lay It Down. It's double tracked. Yeah, there's a bunch of reverb and delay on there, but you know, that's era appropriate. Fight me in the comments if you don't agree. Let's hear the mighty Hamer. Next up, the Purple Monster, the Shredder, as I like to call it. Totally different spec to the Hamer. The bridge on this isn't blocked, so it actually kind of works, and there's definitely something to be said about playing on a dual floating trem, where it really changes the overall kind of feel, or the suspension of the guitar, as I like to call it. It's got an original PJ Marks humbucker in there, which just gives it a really unique voice, and it's a short Gibson scale, plus it's got a maple fretboard on there. So let's hear what this guitar from Hamburg has to say. You can't do a Superstrat comparison without some kind of Ibanez, and to me, the ultimate 80s Ibanez is the Desert Yellow RG550, and maybe the Floral Gem, but I don't have a Floral Gem, so we'll just roll with this. I've got a Duncan Custom 5 and a Damasio Liquefier in this. You know, it's classic Ibanez, and you either love it or you loathe it. Super thin neck, gigantic frets. I just want to get on this and do two-tone bends and play as fast as I can, and plus, you will never be lost in a crowd with this guitar. Let's hear it. And of course, you can't talk Superstrats without mentioning Eddie Van Halen. He got the whole ball rolling with it after all. And this is my Peavey Wolfgang. Totally stock, except for the mighty googly eye mod, which obviously makes it 10 to 15% better sounding. This guitar to me is like the hellish love child of a Les Paul and a Telecaster. It is rude and crude, and the neck is tiny, and it makes you want to do big stretch stuff, and I just love the way it feels with the Floyd that you can't pull up. That's probably my preferred Floyd Rose system. If I absolutely have to have a Floyd and I don't have a choice. I have all these Floyd Rose loaded guitars, but you know, it's not my favorite bridge style. But out of all of those, having it flush mount like this is definitely the way I like it. And it just kind of offers up, again, a slightly different character. But check it out. The last guitar in this comparison is actually a guitar that my dad made. It's definitely one of a kind. As you can see, there's his last name and my last name on there. And by the way, shock horror, my actual last name isn't Leon Todd. But this is kind of like an amalgam of all those other Superstrats. We've got an ebony fingerboard, like the Californian, maple neck, like all the other guitars. There's the kind of Ibanez Tree of Life style inlay on there, Sperzel locking machine heads. There's a Damasio Tone Zone and Air Norton pickup set, one volume control. There's a Les Paul style toggle jack, which I've wired backwards and haven't bothered to fix, and a poplar body, which is kind of unique. And I think out of all of these guitars, this is probably the guitar that every time I play it and listen back to it, I think I sound the most like myself on it. Anyway, let's hear the riff, and then we'll hear a couple of other comparison clips with all the guitars after that. So that's what they all sound like playing some Rat. What about some clean sounds? For me, maybe my favorite clean sound ever is just a straight up neck pickup on a good Strat. So we'll start there on my 77 Strat. And obviously we have some guitars with high output humbuckers in the neck position, stacked humbuckers, true single coils. They're all gonna be different, but this is what you get clean, playing a kind of rootsy style thing out of them. Some of them work really, really well. Others, I'll let you decide. what really surprised me there was that that neck humbucker, the stacked humbucker on the Hamer, probably got the closest to my 77 Strat out of all the other guitars. Probably wouldn't use the Greenie or the EVH or the Ibanez on the neck pickup for those kind of clean tones. I think there's other options you can use there, but the other guitars really got some sweet clean sounds out of them, and kind of brings me around to the final thing I want to talk about with each guitar, which is, I guess, what they inspire me to do, because they're all so different. For example, the Wolfgang, the neck is so thin and so kind of fast and easy to stretch on that I just end up doing this stuff all the time. Similarly, the really short scale on the Shrödder and the access from the neck through design and these carves makes me kind of go widdly as well, but more like this. The Ibanez though has this really unique wiring where if you're on the position selecting the bridge and the middle pickup on the 5-way, it taps the bridge. So you kind of get this like alternate universe Strat sound where it kind of sounds like a Strat, but it kind of doesn't. You know, if you listen to Steve Vai clean tones, or you listen to modern players like Tim Henson or Ichika Nito, where they're playing that kind of really clean, accurate, almost glitch style of guitar, that's the tone I'm talking about. For me, it makes me want to play funky stuff like this. The Hamer is just amazingly thick and fat, and it makes me want to do pinch harmonics. It makes me want to dig in. It really makes me want to play that late 80s kind of style, you know, the whole kind of George Lynch, John Sykes thing. And I just love to pile lots of distortion on top of this guitar because it handles it so well and it cuts all the way through it. And then of course the Strat, you know, the Strat thing means a lot of different things to a lot of different people, but probably the most unique thing out of a Strat is that neck and middle position. I absolutely love it. I can't get enough of it with a clean sound with a little bit of reverb and some chimey arpeggios. Which brings us to this guitar, and you know, there's obviously a lot attached to this guitar other than the fact it has like 6 strings and you know, I can make noise with it. But what I will say about this guitar is I probably sound the most like myself on this guitar anytime I play it in comparison to the others, which, you know, I don't know if that's a psychological thing because I know that my dad made it and it's almost like I kind of want to just put that extra little bit of soul into it the way he did when he was making it, or whether it just kind of works for the way I like to play guitar, or maybe I just spent so much time playing this guitar growing up that I kind of configured my taste around it. I don't know, it might be all of those things, but this really kind of has a unique voice going on, whether it's the timbre, whether it's the pickups, and again, whether it's all those kind of predetermined biases that I have. But I like to do this with this guitar. Anyway, I've waffled on long enough. Let me know which guitar you like the sound of the most and which one you would reach for if you had to go on stage and play a bunch of ridiculous over-the-top guitar licks in front of an audience. Let me know in the comments. If you want to support the channel, there are links in the video description. I hope you all enjoyed the video. Thanks so much for watching. Have a great day. I'll see you next time.